We are back. And everyone, welcome back to Kimbology. It's your girl Kimbo here, and I got a very special guest. She's joined us already twice before. So this is the third time having her on. She's one of my besties. I love this bitch. Even though I hate... Shut up, bitch. I haven't even said your name or introduced you. The trolling continues. It's Rebecca Campos, everyone. Becktacular. Dexter Lexter. Travel Beck in the building, y'all. What are your AKAs, bitch? Do your AKAs.
AKA Rufio's best friend.
Shut up. I hate you. Do you guys understand this reference that this bitch keeps calling me Rufio? I don't know what she's talking about.
Okay. For those that have seen Hook,
oh my god.
So me and Kim got together for the first time after like being vaccinated. We went to King Spa in Niles.
Heaven on earth.
Yes.
It is a Korean day spa. It's literally the best place on earth. Go on.
So Kim's hair is looking real fucking cute these days. As you can see, she's slaying with the curls. And I was like, oh my God, Kim, your hair looks so good. And she's like, bitch, growing this fucking hair out. She's like, my roots were coming out. And I was like, oh, so you were on your Rufio.
Let me tell you the struggle, y'all. Okay. If y'all watch it on the visuals right now. Yes, your girl, I used to have a mohawk for like 7-8 years or some shit. And I would shave the sides down. So I made the conscious effort to, I decided, I'm like, I'm going to grow my sides out, guys. It's time. It's time to grow up. I'm in my 30s. I need to do it. So I choose this. My sister's getting married, mind you, months away. So I have like black thick hair fucking growing on the sides, and my blonde hair is on the top. I look like a hot fucking mess, and this bitch calls me Rufio.
So Rufio's, I think I didn't Google him, but I think he's Filipino. So those who know,
if you know, you know.
No. I'm planning on having a movie night with Kim and Rick Dog, rewatch Hook, and Kim gets to know. On some real shit though, Rufio was like, he was that guy.
He was that bitch. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bitch, I forgot to put the timer on and everything on this shit because I need to time this shit. I'm a hot mess. You guys, I'm drinking wine.
I'm wearing my Skims pajamas, by the way. I don't know if you can see.
Oh God, you guys. This bitch stands the Kardashians, and I hate it. I can't stand it. And this bitch stands Kim K and their crew.
She just hasn't felt the luxury on her skin.
I'm not giving any of them hoes my money, honey. Okay, let's talk about that.
She's sleeping at night. She hasn't just experienced the luxury.
I hate you. She's over here trying to be a brand ambassador for fucking Skims and shit. Fuck out of here. Anyways, guys, if you guys are hella confused, welcome to the Handmaid's Tale season finale recap. Me and this bitch here, Becky, love the show Handmaid's Tale. And the ones that know. The ones that out there that are going to enjoy this episode that fucks with the show are going to love it down. It all started because me and this bitch decided to watch. Actually, though, it didn't start there, but
well, Jessica put us on.
Shout out to you, Jess. That's Rebecca's other best friend. But she put us on. We were in San Francisco visiting her, and this bitch starts watching it, and we're like, what is this? She's like, oh my God, bitch. Right? She was like,
she was like thirsty to put us on. Like she was like, you
thirsty.
guys have to watch the show.
Yeah.
And we had just been adventuring all over San Francisco. So one night we were just like tired. I think we had done like a wine and like taco night or something like that in her apartment.
We were. Oh yeah.
And so we started watching this show, and me and Kim were like, "What?
Hooked. It was so fucking good. So I mean, the ones that know. If you guys want to see how ghetto and fucking ratchet us two are together, we did a whole fucking we decided last minute to just get together for the season finale of season 4, right? Season 4.
Yeah, season 4.
We watched the last episode together, guys, live on Instagram, and decided last minute. So literally, like, nobody's watching because, like, we just decided to do it like randomly as fuck, and we would have people pop and be like, "What's up? What's going on here, guys? What y'all doing? But it's a hot mess. My mom makes an appearance, which is like super embarrassing. So you're welcome for that. And we watched the show, guys. So if you guys want to watch that, that's literally on my Instagram, Kimbology Podcast Instagram right now. If you guys want to see it, it's a whole hot mess. Enjoy. But yeah, we wanted to do an episode where we actually like break it down, talk about the season like recap, talk about like how it kind of correlates with like the past seasons, and yeah, and who better than to do it with this bitch here, because she's low key like,
I'm a
you know,
stan.
well, no, low key like an intellectual when it comes to this bullshit. Look at me giving you your credit, bitch.
Thanks,
Giving you
Kim.
like your fucking, I'm giving
After
you
I've
your
been
coin.
trolling you down since
With the sweet baby rays, bitch. With the sweet baby rays. Fuck you, by the way. So this
let
bitch
the
comes
world know.
over. What's up?
Let the world know
Oh,
what's
I
been
hate you
going
so much.
on.
This on Juneteenth, by the way. By the way, shout out, happy Juneteenth, everyone. Today is Juneteenth that we are recording this. Shout out to Juneteenth. So yeah, no, this bitch fucking comes over and she's like, we barbecue and everything. We're like Rick Dog Productions is barbecuing, making the food. And we ran out of barbecue sauce. We ran out of Sweet Baby Ray's. And this bitch want to troll us, talking about, oh, the ancestors would roll over in their grave. I'm like, fuck you. You caught us in a dry spell.
I was like, I thought this was a Black household. The lie detector test determined.
I hate you so much. I was so fucking pressed that we went and bought like 3 bottles and I like sent it to her and I like with like, fuck you. And she was like, ah, really? Oh, finally.
Yes. Kim had the caucasity because George, her cat, was there. He was like in the mix with us. He's so cute.
Shout out to
I'm a dog person, but I have a soft spot for cats. And I used to have a cat. Her name was Checkers. And Kim was like, why'd you name her Checkers? I was like, after the restaurant. The fuck? And Kim was like, oh my God. I can't believe you. The ghetto. And I was like, bitch, if you don't stop disrespecting Checkers and then disrespecting Sweet Baby Ray, I'm just gonna have to, I don't know.
A troll, a constant troll on my life, guys. This fucking bitch here. Is Checkers like a United, like, is it all over the United States or is it just Chicago? Or is it like a thing? Right? Checkers, guys, if y'all don't know the reference, it's like this chain of, it's like a fast food chain.
Hamburger restaurant. Yeah, it's a fast
right
food.
But it's hood. All right, it is like, you will see when you reach the hood, you will see a Checkers. Let's just be real, guys. Okay, hood means Checkers. Like, you will go to like, if you want some like, but real tea, actually the last time
I also feel like in the 90s Checkers was it was like a spot, especially like because I grew up over here on the south side and there was a lot of them over here, and it was
you live in the hood, so I mean no, where's the lie?
Like, girl, it was like Liddy, like you would pull up and there would be like people in their cars like hanging out. It was kind of like a scene back then. And with my older sister, she used to take me and my brother like cruising with her friends. That's how she'd be able to like go. My parents would make her take these 2 little kids with her. So
to the hood, the Checkers.
We'd all be in
Yes, Beck thought she was down all the way when she was a kid, y'all. Appropriating. Fuck out of here. Leave the Checkers to us, bitch. Okay, not just playing. I put you on to Popeyes though, for real.
True. I'll give you that. Yes. I will truly pay my respects to you.
She never tried Popeyes before we went and I introduced it to her. I was like, bitch, I'm taking you to Popeyes. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with your life.
In my defense, there's 2 Fuego on Fuego fried chicken restaurants in my neighborhood that are literally like institutions. Like, pretty much my whole life, I would not understand why anyone would go to anywhere else for fried chicken. Because
what's it called? Shout it out.
Well, there's number 1 is Heine's. Kim has had it, and number 2 is Gina's. Kim has had both, and
I've had both. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I've had Heine's for sure.
Remember that time I had you guys over here for a Southside safari, and
no, Southside Safari.
Theater. It was like that one.
Oh, when we took the little, oh my God. When I stayed in the Queendom?
Yes.
Oh my God, the Queendom.
Yes.
I miss her. Yes. Okay, I remember that now.
That
was like, that day, guys, was amazing. This bitch took me on a tour of the South Side. I was like, I'm a West Side bitch, so
she spent the night with a few other gals, and I ordered them Gina's chicken. It was so good. And then we like kikied. Kim slept in the queendom, aka my parents' bedroom.
it was a queendom, you guys. Like there was like a fucking like view and shit. I was like, where the bitch? It was like it was luxurious. Anyways, guys, we need to get into this Handmaid's Tale because we were just fucking talking and talking and talking. All right, so if you guys know, season 4 has wrapped. It is over. So if you guys haven't watched it, definitely get on it. Real tea, go if you haven't watched the season finale, put on Kimbology podcast Instagram and watch it with us because it's cute. It's a fun time because you'll react with us. It's cute. So yeah, where do you want to start, Becky? I'll let you like figure that, like, because you're good with that.
Well, let's start with like recapping the season 4.
Okay.
Like, how do you feel about it? Like, what's your vibe?
Well, like when it started out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It started out that June was still in Gilead, right? When it started, she was on the run already, right? Or no?
Wait. Before we go on, tell everyone there is going to be spoilers.
Oh, bitch, if they haven't already figured that out, I mean...
No, that's true. You're right.
But the title's going to be like Handmaid something, so...
True.
Y'all need to catch up. So spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler. Okay, it's official. It's in there. Okay, guys? Spoiler alert. So if you guys haven't watched Handmaid's Tale, caught up, push pause, watch that shit, and then come back to this, okay? Because it's the real tea. But in the beginning of the season 4, June is still in Gilead, right? And is she... I can't remember. She's free. She's free though, right? She's like on the run, right? Isn't that how it starts off in season 4? Because it's like her and oh fuck, right? Oh my god, we suck, Becky.
The thing is, this season was so heavily anticipated. I feel like that, I don't know, I feel like there was so long, especially because like, no, I didn't even start that long ago.
I know. Wait, it's been how many episodes? Handmaid's Tale.
10 episodes. So it was
okay.
About 2 months ago. 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we do know she was
we're trash right now for never
fucking trash. I mean, like everyone's like, okay, bitch, good night. So, okay. From what I'm going back to my memory, and it'll come back to you, Becky, because you're good at remembering stuff like this. My memory is my memory is now coming back where the handmaids are actually with Aunt Lydia. Yeah. Aunt Lydia has them. She got them back, right? She got June, she got Janine, she got what's the homegirl?
They are on the run. So the first episode is Pigs. I'm looking at it right now.
Pigs, okay.
Pigs is where they ended up on that farm.
Yes, and that young commander's wife, the young girl that like ends up helping them. She's like, girl, I was hella confused with her because I was like, this bitch.
So for me, it clicked right away with her because remember, and I think it was season 2 where they married off all of those young girls.
Yeah.
And Nick was one of the guys who got a bride.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that this girl had to have been married off in some kind of ceremony similar to what we witnessed in season 2. But what was really fucked up about this particular character's situation was this commander that she was with was like old as fuck.
Yeah.
I think he was senile. Like I don't even think he knew.
He was old as fuck. She was young boots. Like she looked like she was 19.
Like no, not even.
Okay, maybe younger.
Like 16 or 17.
She's a child, which is like the real tea. And well, the saddest thing was that she was fucked up clearly because it ended up coming out that she was
she was getting, so the commander was sending other commanders eyes to sleep with her,
to come fuck her. Yeah, so she was getting like raped. So basically in retrospect, she was also a handmaid because she was a wife. But she was like treated like a handmaid because she was like raped by all these randos, and she opened up to June about it.
But it seems like I feel like this particular commander probably couldn't perform. Obviously, he was not
Uh-huh. Yep.
and probably to save face and to get her pregnant and not to have a handmaid, because from what it looked like, they didn't have a handmaid. So obviously she was probably expected, to be, because you remember in season 1, they had all those young girls coming into the hospital when June was pregnant with Nicole, and they were
Yeah.
like checking, like they were making sure they were fertile. And June had asked one of them, she was like, do you want to have kids? And she's like, well, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? So I'm assuming this character probably came from like a similar situation. She
Right.
was probably really young. At this point, we know like Gilead it's been a thing now for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to have been like 9 or 10
She was,
when the US
yeah.
fell to Gilead.
Yeah.
And so that's probably how she ended up in this situation. And obviously, we know all the commanders are like egomaniacs. So I'm sure this old senile man still had some kind of like, something in him to be like, I can't look bad in front of the other commanders and most likely get taken down from my post because I can't function as a
Right.
human. So that's probably why he kind of offered her up to everyone in the little area that they were in.
Yes.
So this girl had a bunch of like pent up anger because of her
Oh,
situation.
she was angry boots. Like,
And she was also super excited to be hosting June and the other handmaids, even though they were all fugitives.
yes.
Um, and I just think this girl, just like most young teenage girls, she's angry about her situation. She's upset. She wants to rebel. She's got a lot of fight in her. She's been on the privileged side of Gilead, so she's kind of out of touch with the handmaids and how they actually feel.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
remember when they were sitting and eating dinner and she like screamed at her, like, remember she was yelling at that other handmaid, like, finish it or whatever. Like, she was
right.
just like,
She was
and
yelling at
everybody was
Janine
like, yo,
because
bitch, chill. Like,
Janine was a vegetarian and she didn't want to eat the
uh-huh.
pork. And she had
Right.
gotten close to one of the pigs that they had killed for the meal.
That's right. Cause yeah,
So,
Janine, bless her heart, like she like befriended one of the pigs and that
right.
whole thing. And listen, I got chickens. So
Bitch,
I can't
you would befriend a pig in Gilead.
I really would. I really would. Like I literally like catch feral cats and get them fixed. Like to see, like I love animals, but like literally, yeah, I would do that. But honestly, I felt for this little girl because, clearly she was fucked up from her situation. But, also she shout out to her because she was helping out the fugitive handmaids. But yeah, fast forward though, because, you know, like basically in that process, I can't remember exactly what happened. They get found out, right? And then they
Right.
get caught. The handmaids get caught.
They were supposed to move on to the next safe house
Right,
and they just
right,
couldn't find a window to leave.
right.
And
And it was the window was
June,
closing. They were gonna find, like, they found out basically. The eyes found out.
remember June had gone to that brothel to kind
Yeah.
of, I forget what information she was going for,
She was
but
talking to that girl.
right, she was
That
talking
one
to one
girl.
of the Jezebels from the
Yeah, she was like
brothel.
the main bitch for the whole like
So
what do
at
they
this
call it? Wait, what do they call their like basically their like underground railroad? They called it something.
Mayday,
Mayday. She was
yeah,
like looking for the one bitch that like ran Mayday at the
right.
brothel.
And
Cause
this
that, yeah.
June gets while she's there, she gets a pulse on how things are
Yeah.
after she let those kids go. And basically, June realizes a lot of people fucking hate her because even though she got those what is it, 78 kids or 87 kids? I feel like I'm flipping the numbers, but I think the
Yeah.
number
It
was
was a
up
lot.
there
Yeah. Yeah. It
because
was,
that's how season 3 ended. The plane got
yes.
out,
Yes.
the kids got out.
Yes.
June escapes with the other handmaids because she was injured.
Yeah.
And
She got shot, bitch, right?
yeah, she got shot.
She got
Yeah,
shot.
I forgot
Yeah.
she
She
got
was
fucking
bleeding
shot.
out, bitch. She was bleeding out. She was about to die.
Right.
Like dead ass.
So she finds out that a lot of people lost their lives to get these kids out. A lot of people got in trouble.
Yeah.
she also finds out that the brothel where she murdered that other commander
Yes,
got shut
with
down.
a pen, mind you. That bitch murdered that nigga
So
with a pen.
I feel like the season started off really well because it really gave us a pulse for like, shit is fucking serious. She's not gonna walk away from this like super easily. Because to be honest with you, when season 3 ended, I kind of got the impression that she was gonna get away with it all. That's really truly what I felt. Maybe that's naive of me, but I just feel like it was so successful, like her plot to get these kids out, that I was kind of like, she did it at night. They don't know where the kids were, but somehow the eyes found out that she was the one involved, and
I mean, she got them out, so like, I think she was successful. I mean, clearly, obviously, they're gonna get the tea. They're gonna find out.
Right.
All them kids missing.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Well, I mean, you know, she did that, and then in the process of moving to the next Mayday safe house, they get caught up, right?
Right.
And then they end up right back in motherfucking Aunt Lydia's hands. I mean, but literally those, like, tell me, Becky, did your heart not sink when when Aunt Lydia got them back? I mean, this bitch was literally the utter worst to these women, you know, treated them like fucking dogs, would have them stone each other to death and shit, you know, torture them. I mean, Janine lost an eye.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh, bitch, they're about to fucking get like tortured and waterboarded. Oh, well, actually, that did happen, right? Didn't June get waterboarded?
Yeah.
I can't watch that shit. I don't know how you feel about it, but I can't. It's
this
very
entire
hard.
show is very triggering. It's not an easy watch, especially for women.
Yeah. But ironically though, Becky, like most of the people that watch this shit are women. And like the men like literally tell them the story about how you would who did you show this to, and they were like, oh, hell no.
My dad, he caught me watching a recent episode, and he sat down to like watch it, and he watched it for like not even 5 minutes, and it wasn't even an intense scene. It was the scene where like Serena and Fred were talking for the first time after she had found out she was pregnant. And it was an intense scene, obviously, because they've got hella fucking history. The both of them, both those characters. And my dad was like, I can't just, I'm gonna go. I was like, what?
Right. And Rick Dog too. Like he's just like, oh, like, cause he came home one day from work and was like, and I was like, I just finished watching an episode. So I was just like stone faced,
honestly,
like,
to me,
going through it. And he was like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I was like, I just got finished watching Handmaid's Tale. Like, I'm not okay. Like, you know what I mean? And he was just like, I'm not watching this shit. Look at you. Look at you. Why are you watching this? He doesn't understand.
I also feel like the thing about this show and why women are drawn to it is, to me, it's definitely an example of like how bad things can get if you don't pay attention.
Yeah.
And don't stay seriously engaged.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a lot of men, no disrespect to Rick Dog, because this is not meant towards him. This is not meant towards my dad. But I feel like for a lot of men, the show is definitely a representation of, not a representation, it's a mirror to them of like, we need you to be allies. We need you to help bring down the patriarchy with us.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where unfortunately a lot of men fall really short, you know. That's just the reality of the world we live in, you know. There's not, you know, the truth of the matter is like locker room talk is something that like isn't, you know, it's not frowned upon the way it should be. Like, we're just not supported the way we should be supported by men. I agree. Cis straight men, at least, you know.
Yeah.
And some of these gays.
This hetero, well, the self-hating gays, let's be real, because they do exist. No, I mean, for real though, like when it comes to like the whole abortion issue, in a sense of like what, like the control, like whether or not to, you know, is it legal or not, or like, you know, if you pay attention, like in these states, there's like laws passing to get rid of abortion, and like, you know, like keep, those are rights. Those are women's rights, like our bodies. And these are men. These are mostly white men that are like passing these laws that are trying to tell us women what we can and can't do with our own bodies, which is literally trifle. Like, what do you mean?
Especially when so many Republican men don't want to get the vaccine right now.
Okay, like talk
And
about it.
their conversation is, well, it's my body. I can do what I want.
Oh, really though?
So
Yeah, you want to have a word
enlightening.
about what a random woman has to do, whether she have a baby or not? Fuck out of here, right? Well, this world, Gilead, was built off of, I guess, in a sense, if you want to fast forward, it's sort of the way
Oppressing
things.
women.
Yeah, but literally, our women's rights were stricken and taken from them because they were fearful of the human race, right? Because at this time, birth rates are decreasing significantly. More and more women are finding out they can't conceive. So they find all the women that have children at that time, which is a very small percentage, right, Becky? Like not very many
Right.
women in America at that time could conceive, could have, right, were fertile, could even have children. So they would round up all those women and make them sex slaves and make them have children, you know? And they're in like, I don't want to shoot forward.
You know what? Let's do a quick breakdown of what Gilead is like for those that haven't watched the show but are listening. So like fill them in on what the hierarchy of Gilead is. So it's the commander. So it started out, it's the sons of Jacob. So pre-Gilead, there was a group of extreme like evangelical Christians, men who were like keen on overtaking the US government because at this point in time in the Handmaid's world, there's a lot of like pollution that they think is causing, you know, infertility. The sanctity of like the family units is being threatened by, you know, lesbians and gays and, you know, the new families, you know, that are, you know, that's a thing now. And there are a lot of women that are, you know, women that are coupled up, that with these men believe like because of their careers they don't have time to raise a family, they don't have time to be a mother, they believe that their place should be at home. So basically what happens, the sons of Jacob overthrow the US government, and eventually it turns into this like dystopian society, where pretty much the main family units are a man and a woman. Most these men are commanders, and each family that is not able to conceive is assigned a handmaid. And every month that handmaid is ovulating, there's this thing called the ceremony, and these handmaids have to wait for the men and the commander and his wife in their bedroom. They come in, the wife holds the handmaid down, and essentially the commander rapes the handmaid so that she can get pregnant. Obviously it's a slippery slope. There are, you know, commanders that have affairs with their handmaids, aka Janine,
right,
who we're going to talk about because we love the character. She's come such a long way. And it's just a lot of fucked up situations. And June's situations, just to catch everyone up to speed. June ended up in this house with Commander
Fred Waterford.
Fred Waterford. So she's with Commander Waterford and his wife, Serena Joy. She falls in love with his like main security guy, his driver, this guy named Nick. And she ends up getting pregnant by Nick. Though Serena is aware of Nick and June's situation.
Well, didn't she actually make them do it? No, wasn't she watching them fuck at one point?
Serena found out that through one of Gilead's doctors who was monitoring June and her fertility, that Fred was infertile. His sperm like didn't have any. Of course, he's an evil
human being. Yeah,
right.
Literally
doesn't deserve to procreate.
No, listen. God knows what he's doing in that sense. He's like, oh, we ain't never having this nigga have no kids. Fuck out of here. Yeah.
So Serena definitely kind of turns a cheek to June and Nick's relationship
because she wants a baby and bad.
Serena wants a baby so freaking bad,
so fucking hard.
You know, that's
Yeah.
all she wanted. Serena, I feel like, based on like flashbacks from previous seasons, I think she played a major role in Gilead's development. Because if
She
you
did though.
remember,
She did. Yeah,
so
she
she was
did.
kind of like
She
this.
wrote some of the
She
because
wrote a
remember,
book.
yeah, she wrote a
She was an
book,
author
like because
on
during
like
yeah, well this
conservatism in like the household, and the book was literally called A Woman's Place, and it was super controversial.
right,
People were sending this woman death threats over this
right.
book because it was her being like, yes, we're smart, yes, we're intellectual, but what we really need to be doing is having children. But
Right.
then she
But
couldn't
it's
have
the
kids.
it's the hypocrisy for me because then like she ends up getting like her finger cut off for reading. Because mind you, in this new world of Gilead, which low key, you guys, if you guys haven't caught up, Gilead is America. Okay. Literally, Gilead is the new America. So we keep talking about Gilead, right? Gilead is literally the United States. Okay. So, I mean, come on. Well, she literally at some I forgot what season it was, but at one point she kind of starts to rebel against this world of like, women kind of being subservient to men
Well,
and
what
like
happened? Remember, Fred got sick or something, and Fred pretty much didn't want the other commanders to know that he couldn't work.
so she
Basically handed
stepped
over
in.
her work, handed
Yeah.
over his work to her.
Yeah.
And Serena, being, a pretty capable human being, is able to handle herself. And June used to be an editor.
Right. So
So
they take over, they work for his
they
ass.
literally tag team
Yeah.
together
I
to do his
forgot
work.
that. Yo. See, this is why I want
Mhm.
to like high key. Like, I mean, I know I'd like literally just finished the last, like, I'm all caught up in this since I've watched all the seasons, but honestly, it's just been such a long time that like all of
Right.
this stuff, I want to like, I'm gonna take my time and rewatch the entire seasons back over, starting from season one. But yeah, they both go in, they both fucking cover for him, and they both do his work. And in this society, in this dystopian, way of living, women don't read. Like they're not
They're
allowed
not
to
even allowed to
read.
write.
They're not allowed to write. It's like just literally like your wife, but the thing is, being a wife, you don't cook or clean. Like you have a Martha. So Marthas, right, are another
Right.
assigned servant to the household that just cooks and cleans for the commander and his wife, right? So it's a servant. This Martha is not able to conceive
I
or
have
like
a
not have kids.
feeling I have a feeling that Martha's were previously in pre-Gilead times were not necessarily like June or Janine's characters, who were like these like free liberal women. I have a feeling they were conservatives as well.
Well,
But
like
since I feel like they specifically chose these women to be Marthas because they were kind of past their reproductive years. Because
uh-huh,
if you
uh-huh.
notice, a lot
Mhm.
of the Marthas are not, they're older. They look like they're,
Is Rita that old though? Rita look good. She don't look
I
old
mean,
as fuck.
I'm not saying they look bad. That's not what I'm implying. I'm saying they just seem like, and they're just not people that were, I guess, older than the past their childbearing years. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's just the reality of it. So I think that's where Martha's kind of came into play with that. And
Okay.
it's interesting because the show hasn't dived into that. I don't know if I don't think it's maybe not necessary, or maybe that's going to be a storyline down the road. Um, but that's how I see it, especially because this Aunt Lydia character that we mentioned about, um, the aunts are in charge of kind of wrangling the handmaids,
Mm-hmm.
and training them on how they're going to be, and also brainwashing them. A lot of
Oh,
their
boots.
rhetoric is like, you are chosen by God to give your gift to this world, and your gift is your child's, and you're giving this family like this amazing opportunity. And so they did dive into Aunt Lydia's character and her past pre-Gilead in a season. I think it was like season 3 they dived into it, or maybe season 2. But Aunt Lydia in particular was an instructor at a private school. She didn't have children, but she was definitely conservative and religious. And do you remember when they flash back to her? There was one student in particular who had a single mom, and she would like constantly pick up her son late from school. Not that she was like a neglectful mother, but she was a single mom. She worked,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
let her leave work early. And Aunt Lydia's character she was really partial to this little boy. So she really took a liking to him, and she was so disappointed that this single mother couldn't give
Yeah.
him like what he needed. And in reality, he was perfectly fine. He was a perfectly happy, healthy kid,
Yeah.
you know, with a mother who, like, yes, she's not the ideal situation, but she also loved him. You could
But
tell.
who are you,
And
bitch, to get in my
and
life?
Aunt
Like,
Lydia called Child Protective Services.
yeah, on this
Got this.
woman.
So
Yeah.
that kind of gives you, so I feel like Aunt Lydia was definitely more on the, like, not, she was definitely past her childbearing years, but she was definitely someone who was on the more extreme side of, her religious antics and her views on
Come on,
the
neck roll.
on
Come on.
on okay.
Come
She
on.
was more on like the conservative side of like her religious views, and also like she was someone who was like a big proponent of like the traditional American family and like the sanctity of that. So I think that's how that, because Aunt Lydia is not the only aunt. There's like
No,
tons of that.
there's a whole tribe of fucking bitches that make these let's be real. There's a whole tribe of bitches that literally make these women handmaids and train them and brainwash them to be subservient to their fucking commanders and lay there and get raped every month, like several times a month.
Right.
So I don't want to and the thing is, sorry, Aunt Lydia's story ain't that traumatizing, bitch. Like they were trying to, like, when they were showing her storyline, they're like, "This is why Aunt Lydia is the way she is. It's
Because she had
because
also been heartbroken by some like random
right, the bit like
guy.
she fell in love and got her heart broken. Like, oh, boohoo, bitch. We've
Right.
all been
We've
there,
all been
okay?
there.
Right. We don't get no fucking sympathy from us, bitch. Okay. Like this bitch was fucking crazy and fucked up, and we see that going forward because. So let's fast forward, right? So people have
Right.
kind of gotten
Let's
the
go
whole
back
gist,
into season
right?
4.
So that's kind of that's the main gist of like what's going on, guys, right? So a lot of shit happens in between. If you guys really are invested, just rewatch it with me, guys. I'm gonna rewatch it too. So we're back there to Aunt Lydia catches the fugitive handmaids, right? So it's June, it's Janine. Janine's got the eye patch, like she's missing one eye. What's my homegirl's name that I really love that I can't remember?
Alma.
Alma. I love me some Alma because that bitch didn't give a fuck. She was like she was like the sassy bitch, the sassy handmaid. But like they all get caught. And surprisingly though, I thought like worse was gonna happen to them in a sense, but like
The
no,
reality of
no,
it
no, no, no,
is,
no, Becky, we're forgetting. They find June and they waterboard her and they bribe her into and they make they show
right.
her. So they show her daughter, which is like June is really fucked up, right? Because this whole process of her going through Gilead, she has a daughter already. Okay.
Right. She was
Um,
taken away from her when she was caught by the eyes,
right,
when her and her husband were trying to escape to Canada from
right.
Gilead.
Oh my god, bitch, why am I can't what's her fucking daughter's name?
Hannah.
Hannah, thank you. So
Mhm.
she's like won't she doesn't want to leave. She's had several opportunities to leave Gilead, right? Maybe not several, maybe like a couple, right? Two least. And she won't leave without Hannah. Hannah's her real daughter with her husband Luke that's in Canada. Uh Canada is freedom, right? Canada is not Gilead.
Canada's still Canada that we know and
I
love
mean,
now.
boots, but I mean, boots, like literally, yes. But Canada's freedom. Luke's there. We know Moira's there. You know what I'm saying? Moira was another handmaid of her friend, her best friend. Um, they're free, right? Hannah is with a family in Gilead that she's trying to find. So they basically they hold her daughter Hannah like kind of like like, hey, please tell us where these other handmaids are or we're gonna fucking hurt your daughter Hannah. And they
Right.
bring Hannah, they put her in this glass fucking box. They're just like
So
that's
fucked
so
up.
fucking evil, right? And Hannah's like scared boots because she when she was taken away from her mom, she was
Right.
so young. What was she like? 6 or something, 6 or 7 or something like that?
She was
Or
like 5 or
oh, she was
6.
even younger,
Yeah.
right? Because she's around like 11, 12 now, right? I don't
Right.
know. So do the math, right? Because this has been Gilead for 7 years. She was very young. She does not remember June. She doesn't remember her own mother. She was scared of June.
I think she remembered her. I would not be surprised because you remember in season 2, she broke into the house she was living in
Yeah.
and she like woke her up out of her sleep and
Yeah.
like You know, it
They
was
had
like
a moment, right?
ordeal because like
Yeah.
the mom, not the mom, but like the
The
wife
wife,
caught
yeah.
her, and it was this whole situation. So I would not be surprised if Hannah has been brainwashed, or not necessarily
Well,
brainwashed,
yeah.
but fed propaganda that her mother's like this evil person and doesn't care about her and is doing mean things.
So okay, so
Who knows?
you don't think she forgot her. You just think that she's been brainwashed to think she's an evil person.
Not like I said, not necessarily brainwashed, but scared with propaganda enough for her to be like, to
Scared.
see her mother in the flesh is such
And
a shock to
yeah,
her.
because she was like legit scared. She was like, oh my God, like screaming, like
Right.
she was scared of her own mom. So
And I think it broke June's heart
oh
because
yeah.
up until that point, when they had the few interactions that they had, Hannah was so excited to see her.
Yeah.
She was,
Because she
I mean,
really
for
thought her
her,
daughter was gonna be happy to see her mom. Like she was like, oh my God, you know? Yeah.
right. And I think when June kind of caved into that moment where she finally told them where the other handmaids were
Right.
hiding, I think she was just scared for her daughter because she
Of
saw how
course.
scared her daughter
Of
was and didn't
course.
want to scare her any more than what she already
Well,
was.
listen, the reason she's still in Gilead is for Hannah. She
Right.
could have left Gilead like those other couple times that she could have left. She's there to protect and save Hannah. So of course she's gonna tell them where the Hannah is. She needs to protect her. So that's the whole reason she's still in Gilead. Is to
Right.
protect Hannah, is to save her daughter. She wants to
Mhm.
save her daughter. So she tells them where the handmaids are. The handmaids, are pressed, obviously, because they're like, bitch, what the fuck, but then she told them with the tea, like, bitch, is my daughter. Y'all gonna be just okay, and then long story short, but like basically like Aunt Lydia is like basically gets these handmaids up and
Wait,
just
before you go on, can we have a quick conversation? That guy so there was this guy that we had never seen before, who was torturing
yeah, who the fuck was
June
that? He like
in
waterboarded
the
her and
red
shit.
center, trying to get information out of her about where the other handmaids were. His character truly gave me the chills.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he for real scared the fuck. I think for the
yeah.
first
The
time ever
casting on
in
that,
the show, I was like, oh my God, this guy is not okay.
yeah,
It's like
yeah. That
Fred
actor did that shit.
Waterford. I'm like, yeah, he's an asshole, but he ain't shit.
Yeah.
Who else? Aunt Lydia. She's scary, but she's a dumbass,
No, you know what, Becky?
but
Boots, like you're
his,
right.
his character,
Yeah.
I was like low key shook it. Like this was someone who thrived in being evil. Like
Yeah. And
just
torturing people.
really, and
Like,
torturing people.
yeah.
And I have a feeling they're probably going to grow his character a little bit more
He was
because
really good. He was
he
very
was
good. That
really
actor
good.
did that shit. So
It
yeah.
totally, you know what it reminded
Yeah.
me of? Do you remember in Inglorious Bastards?
Oh, I don't remember
Christoph
that movie
Waltz.
like that. I don't remember that movie.
Oh, okay,
Oh, Chris, the Nazi though. Yeah, but you
girl,
know what? He's
he's an
genius.
amazing
He's
actor.
like an
I
incredible actor. Yeah.
legitimately hated him
Yeah.
in Inglorious Bastards, and then in Django,
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
like the good guy, and I was like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
I
him.
mean, that's
That's
how
my dad.
that's how I felt about Steve Carell, who is the renowned Michael Scott in The Office. The best, awesome, and we love Michael Scott, but he plays the Matt Lauer character on that show series on Apple called The Morning Show, which Becky, I told you to watch.
I don't have Apple TV.
Bitch, whatever, just like figure it out, because it's so like he is the Matt Lauer character. He is the one. Yeah,
Really?
Steve fucking Carell, like Michael
I
Scott, the
can't
most
even
beloved
picture him.
Boots bitch. So and then when I tell you that Steve Carell's a brilliant actor, because I literally fucking hated him in that fucking show.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
bitch. Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell. Fall in.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
have to like stream it
Yeah.
somewhere
We
somehow.
had like 3 months free for some shit when I think when Ricky bought his like computer or something like that. So that's when we watched it. But
Okay.
legit, that's the only thing worth watching on there. Honestly, there's nothing else worth watching on Apple TV Plus. So
You're not gonna watch Oprah's show?
girl, I mean, shout out to you, Queen. Shout out to you.
Right.
But
Put some respect on her name.
I mean,
Respect with a K.
I am sorry. I am sorry, Oprah. My bad. But yeah, no, legit, like this, yeah, this guy, he was
Okay.
chills,
Yeah.
like chills,
Yeah.
right? So okay, so the girl they
Going
know
on, going on.
where the handmaids are now with Aunt Lydia, and we're gonna speed it through because honestly, for the most part, Lydia's actually kind of nice to them, like weirdly, like she's not doing her. I thought she was gonna fucking be like skinning them and like just doing the fucking most, but she didn't. Wasn't she
But
like
here's what we
weirdly
can't
nice?
forget. I feel like Aunt Lydia does have a touch of humanity left in her, but I think her ego and her need to like maintain her reputation beats like it outwins her humanity a lot. But I
Mm.
definitely think she does have a little bit of a soft spot for her girls, as she calls
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Especially, do you remember in season one when they were doing like the presentation of the handmaids to like the ambassadors of Mexico?
Mm.
And at this point in the show, Janine had told her character like who she was as a person had been broken down by Aunt Lydia.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just invested in being like a good handmaid.
Mm.
And do you remember Serena didn't want to showcase Janine in like the display of the
Mm.
handmaids because of her missing eye, and she literally
Yeah,
tells Aunt
yeah.
Lydia, "We don't. Yes, we're showing off our good fruit, but we don't put our bruised apples out on display."
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
Janine was so hurt, and she was like just sobbing, and like Aunt Lydia. I remember this scene because it was like I was like, "Oh my God, she has a soul." She takes her and she holds her face and she's like, "Don't cry." And she calls her
Mm.
Janine. She didn't even
Mm.
call her,
I forgot
she
this. This is why
called
I
her
gotta
by
watch
her
it
real
back.
name. And she's like,
Mm.
"Janine, I'm so sorry. Like, I know you want to go to the party. I'm gonna get you a whole tray of desserts just for you." And like I remember being like, "Oh my God, she
Right.
has a little touch of
Well, then
some
that
kind of
makes
good in her."
well then that makes
And I
sense
think
because
that's where that comes from. I think
yeah.
she does care about them as
Well, she
humans.
does have a soft spot for Janine. We find that out later on in the season, right?
Right.
So yeah, so let's just go on. So basically, she's really nice. So she's gonna go ahead and ship them off to become handmaids again, right? They're in this car. They're in this car, all of them, headed to wherever place that they're going with Aunt Lydia in the vehicle, right? And then this scene is just
This
iconic.
bitch had the nerve to be like, "It's so wonderful to be all united again."
Right. Like this is a fucking family reunion or some shit. I was
Yeah.
like, bitch. And they're all rolling their eyes and like this bitch for real. So then like literally,
It
I don't know who.
triggers June.
Yeah, yo.
It was literally
Bitch
like,
was not having it. So this
no.
bitch jumps out the car. All the handmaids run after them, right? Because they have this
There
part where
was a
there's a train
train
coming.
coming, right?
Right. And bitch, this scene, spoiler alert, not all of them make it now. They get across the tracks and
Janine and
only
June make it across the tracks.
yeah, Janine
One
and
of
June
the
are the
other
only
girls
ones.
got shot by one of the eyes.
Right. And then
Aunt Lydia's fucking she's having a fit. And then unfortunately we lose Alma
yeah, my homegirl,
and
I loved
Brianna.
her. Yeah, I didn't care for her though. I'm sorry.
She had like
Uh
one line the
she
whole.
was just there. She literally had one line. I mean, shout out to you. She's probably a background actor that got bumped up, got that one line. Shout out to you, Queen.
Maybe we'll
But
see more of her in other films and TV shows.
oh, you know this fucking shot her career up like crazy. So I
Right,
mean, shout out to her. It was a check
right,
and she's getting all the like FaceTime. So
right.
yeah, so fast forward, Janine and June are the two handmaids that make it. And so from then on they're on this run. They're finding different ways, like they find this like group of like fugitives.
They
Actually
end up in Chicago,
they make it to
which
Chicago in this like train. They're in this like train car full of milk.
so they find a train that was a freight train that was taking a bunch of supplies to like the soldiers of Gilead who were at the
Right.
front lines.
Fighting
So
Chicago. Shout out to
all of it,
Chicago.
right? Shout out to us,
Right, because we fighting, bitch.
and the surrounding suburbs for kids.
This bitch tried it. Okay. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Anyways, shout out to Chicago because we will not have it. We will not have it with Gilead.
Although, okay. So I don't. Let's talk about that. So in Gilead, not the entire United States has been like taken over. There are certain parts of the country that are still fighting back. We know Texas is a free republic.
Okay.
California was a free republic.
Okay. That
And
makes
then
sense.
Chicago was like still this one hold that like the people from Gilead were still trying to break through.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I definitely had this vision of Chicago still kind of not normal. Obviously, nothing about the situation is normal. But I was like, yes, of course, we're still holding it down in Chicago.
Me and Becky were there like, fuck you, motherfucker. Yeah. Like throwing shit at them and shit. Straight up. Yeah.
Right,
No, shout out to
right.
Chicago.
But
So
then
they
it's
make
like
it there. What?
They
Go
get
on.
there, and it's
Yeah.
an entirely different Chicago than what I had envisioned it.
Yeah.
It's definitely still, but it's mostly, it seems like it's all a lot of like refugees who are still just hiding. It's not necessarily people fighting back. At this point, it's people who are just struggling to survive.
Yeah.
And even when Janine and June had gotten there, they were starving. They hadn't eaten in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, they thought they were going to be like welcomed and excited to be like received. And everyone was kind of like, we don't give a fuck if you're
They're like, unless you got something to get, like, to contribute, you're literally like taking our food.
You're nothing. You're just another. You're just another like strain on our resources.
Literally. And so basically they were like, well, you got pussy, right? Let's go.
Okay.
And so June's like, oh, fucking hell no. Like, this is exactly what we ran away the fuck from. Because that he was kind of fine, not gonna lie. Whoever he was, the Middle Eastern boy that was like, so what's up? So what's up? Like, what's up with that pussy though? Who's sleeping with me? And then like June is like skirt.
Honestly, he was like a typical Chicago guy who's like a 7.
I mean,
like
shout out to Chicago.
7. He was a solid 7.
In this time, in this world, he was cute, okay? Because there ain't many lookers in this world, apparently.
But so like, did you feel disappointed like I was about Chicago's current standing and like how it was? Like, did you have a different bit, or did you have a feeling that's what they were gonna walk into?
No, bitch. I wasn't giving us that much fucking credit, okay? I mean, I knew that it had to be a hot mess. Like, the thing is, like, they're fighting. Like, I kind of figured. I didn't expect it to be this like, oh, safe haven or anything like that. You know, they were fighting for their lives, and like it was Chicago's constantly under. So they're basically constantly getting bombed. They're constantly under siege. Like, and basically, the resources are dwindling. There's nothing, right? So unless they were gonna be contributing in some way, they were gonna like kick them out. So June, so the motherfucker dude was like, what's up with the pussy? And then like June was like, oh, we're leaving. So Janine steps in and was like, it's okay, bitch. Step aside.
She got her and June a slice of bread.
She got her a slice, right? She was like, here, bitch.
One slice of bread. Just to give you guys an idea of like where things were at in Chicago. Like a hot commodity was literally a piece of bread.
Right. They were trading their clothes for things like homegirl wanted the fucking Cubs hat, and she was like trying to trade her handmaids like her robes, you know, dress robes for the hat, because she was like, because anyways Janine ends up liking dude, right? So like, you know, the dude, I don't even know his name.
They were an item,
right? She ends up like, that's boo thing, that's my baby boo, you know, that's bae. And then was like, oh, he likes the Cubs, let me get this hat for him. And June's like, bitch, we need to get the fuck out of here. Like, June she was trying to fight. Like, she was like, I'm gonna go find where the people are fighting. This is some bullshit. I'm not trying to sit here with these motherfuckers. Like, I want to go fight.
Mind you, she was giving me heavy Kim vibes when she was single, and like guys tried to come.
Single girl swag,
like,
yo.
Kim would be like, who the fuck are you? Trying to
They called me a man hater when I got back from Australia, guys. Like, when I got back from Australia and moved back home to Chicago, everybody was like, Kim, you hate men. And I was like, what? What do you mean? They're like, yeah, your attitude, bitch. And then Becky's been trying to make me a Handmaid's Tale for some time now, right, guys? Because literally she like kept trying to get me on Tinder. What'd you say?
Oh, no. Yeah, back then I would try to get you on Tinder.
Yes, bitch. When I tell you, like, I was like on my single girl swag, like not interested in these niggas, right? And she was just constantly trying to be like, Kim, you need to get out here. You need to be on Tinder, you know? And I was like, Becky, leave me alone. Like, I don't care. And little do we know, now we're switched. Like, Becky's totally on my vibes back then now. Becky's like, fuck these niggas. I'm good how I am. See, bitch? See?
The roles have changed.
See? I
All I
mean,
need now is an Asian baby from you. And
she wants to.
I want.
She's trying. She's an
I
aunt,
want
and
a,
I'm a handmaid to her.
I want a
Literally,
caramel macchiato skin tone Asian niece or nephew.
I'm
I don't
done.
think that's asking for a lot. I really
You're asking for 14 much, bitch. Okay, like to the extreme. High key though, my babies with Rick Dog would be so cute. Like the
cute.
hair, bitch, fall in.
I'm
Like
done. I'm done.
I know you wouldn't even be able to stand it. Like if you met Kyla, my niece Becky,
I'm gonna meet her.
we would have to call the cops because this bitch would steal her. That's how fucking cute my niece is.
She's so cute.
She's so cute. Okay. So, anyways, back to Handmaids, right? So, June's on some like let's go ahead and fight bitch type shit, right? And Janine's on this like, you know, I want to stay with this motherfucker because he's cute and we're fucking and I like him now. Which is like, come on, bitch. Like you've been riding with June from jump, and yet this nigga comes around from out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you want to jump in his dick and stay with him. Like, come on now. So that's I still wasn't kind of like seeing it for Janine. I was like, this bitch is stupid. Like I can't. Like she's oh my gosh, she's so dumb. So then, little do we know, like later on in that episode, June's leaving, and then Janine joins her. So Janine's like, "What's up, bitch? I'm here. Let's do this." Right. So they in that episode they leave, and they're about to go, and you know, seemingly like go find.
So they're looking for this group. So basically, the group they ended up with, they were just a group of like refugees that were trying to survive. They were hiding from the eyes because they didn't want to get caught and be a part of Gilead. But June found out there was a group of people called the Nighthawks. Who, like it was like suicide missions. They would kill anyone in sight.
Yeah.
The thing about firing out to the eyes in Chicago, one of the character that was Janine spoofing had talked about it. He's like, it's just not worth it. You make when you do that, you kill someone, they find out about it, and then the area becomes hot. It's crawling with eyes, and we have to leave. And from what it looked like, they were pretty well situated in whatever abandoned warehouse they were living in.
Right.
So they were not invested in like going out and fighting it with the resistance versus this group that June was looking for called the Nighthawks. They were like they were on some like fuck you, I don't believe in God, I'm gonna kill all of you guys type shit,
which
you know?
seemingly was kind of June's like mood at the time. So
that
anyways,
was her mood.
That was her mood. So let's fast forward, right? So they're leaving, they go, and then there's a there literally Chicago is under siege. They get bombed and they get, you know, they get bombed. And Janine is lost. We can't find her. June's coming out of it. She's like all fucking disoriented. This moment, bitch. This fucking moment. I mean, if you watch the show, have you seen it? You will know. When she sees Moira in the dust, bitch. I was sitting there like shooketh. I was like, you know, like.
And how the show wrote that in, I didn't even see it coming.
I never did.
So Moira's backstory leading up to this point, she's living in Toronto, which Toronto from Chicago is only like a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah, it's like an hour. It's not far. I've done it.
Yeah, and especially by water, it's easy.
It's even,
So Moira is dating a woman in Toronto who's part of like, it kind of seems like it's a UNICEF organization. Like they go into like war-torn regions and provide aid to any kind of civilians that are living in the area. So that's what this organization does. And so this chick was leaving on one of these like relief aid trips, and she invites Moira to come with her. They never mentioned Chicago. She said she was going to Sutton's Bay, which Sutton's Bay is in Michigan. She was going to Thunder Bay, which is like a body of water, like kind of, you know, right above Lake Michigan in like more in the state of Michigan. And so obviously from what it seemed like they were going to different parts of like the lake coast to drop off aid. Yeah. So Moira decides to go with her. And that's where like that storyline kind of ended. So when Chicago was getting bombed and June got bombed down when she was with Janine, I didn't even think of it.
No,
like
I didn't think of that. None of us knew it was coming.
Especially like the writers kind of took us to this point of like, we had no idea where things were gonna go when her and Janine finally escaped. And then he just kept throwing like, curve after curveball when they put them with the group that like didn't care about them. And then we were like, Chicago wasn't this like stronghold that we thought it was,
Right.
So when she was going to look for the Nighthawks, I was like, I don't even know what's gonna happen. I was just not prepared.
We were not expecting that, right? Not at all. So
So they get back on. Coincidentally, Moira's group is in Chicago to drop off aid. So they go into Chicago to search for survivors from the bombings. And she fucking finds June in the rubble.
She fucking finds in the rubble. And right, when that episode ended, we were all like, oh my God, it's over. Yay, we're done. All right. No. So there's a whole cosa because in the beginning, June's like, I don't want to leave because I don't have Hannah. Right? I don't fucking have my daughter. That's the reason why I'm still in fucking Gilead. And she knows how hard it's going to be to find Hannah when she leaves Gilead, if she goes to Canada, right? It's going to be even harder for her to get Hannah out, right? So she doesn't want to leave at first. Then Moira's lesbian lover or whatever, whoever she is, doesn't want to save June because she doesn't want them to get all caught up, right?
So they're part of the rules of war that with the agreement that they have to go drop off aids as like a relief organization is they can't take people back with them or they will lose their
rights to go do that. Right.
Foreign zones.
Right.
And so no one is invested in bringing June back either.
Right.
It's just not worth it. It's not.
But Moira's like, this bitch saved all those kids. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, bring this bitch back. Right. So
but on the other side of it too was the very human side of, this is my best friend, and I really just found her against all odds.
Right.
I just found her. Anyone would have been like, I'm not leaving her.
I'm not leaving her. Absolutely fucking not.
Very much like desperation vibes,
Right. Right.
Moira was just like, I'm going to do anything to get her on. And she did.
She did. So she ends up convincing them to make June look like like one of the helpers. Like they make her a fake name tag, whatever have you. She gets free. She goes to Canada and Luke is there waiting for her. So they have that moment there was like, oh my God, we've been waiting this entire 4 years, guys.
Yeah.
Well, 4 fucking years, maybe even more because of the whole pandemic, right?
Yeah.
For this moment, right? And it's very, I don't know about you, Becky, but it was very it was so lackluster to me because obviously I didn't take in consideration the fact that how fucked up both these motherfuckers are from just not having each other in each other's lives for so long. I mean, all the shit that June has been through, Luke just being completely a mess because his daughter and his wife are stuck in this world being sex slaves and being prisoners, right?
I remember, something a lot of people forgot about. Well, not a lot of people. I mentioned it to Jess, just Jess, but I'm sure she's not the only one. Remember when she was living with Commander Lawrence, she was able to get a cassette tape to him. And she basically told him, I need you to know Nicole was born out of love.
So he knew the tea. Yeah.
And, I think part of the beauty of Nick and June's relationship and their love, I feel like was that love is what helped June survive Gilead. And she told Luke in that cassette tape, she's like, I know this is a fucked up situation to be in, but you need to find some kind of happiness to get you through it. And I think that was definitely Nick for her. So that was the other part of me too that I was thinking about. I was like, oh my God, he knows about Nick.
Yeah.
It was
she has a baby. Yeah.
It was a lot to unpack.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So I just want to give him a nice brief overline of what's happening because it's already been an hour, bitch. We're talking forever. Okay. I don't know. There's just so much to talk about. It's the Handmaid. So it's Handmaid's Tale. Right. So it's a lot. So basically though, guys, June is now living in Canada, right? Literally, how does she fucking comprehend life now, right? Having freedom again, getting to wear regular clothes again. You know what I mean? Just she's been a literal prisoner, a sex prisoner for strangers for the past 7 years. So she's fucked up, right? And then, of course, Luke is trying his heart. God bless him, because that nigga can act his goddamn ass off. Because this nigga's eyes, I don't know. I need
expressions.
Bitch.
This actor's facial expressions, it's just, it's
I need to put some
brilliant.
respect on his name. I'm gonna get his
Yeah,
name because I can't, because he's so amazing.
he's so
Like,
brilliant at like say literally verbally saying nothing, but
yeah.
saying so much just from like a gaze or like a facial expression. What's his name?
OT OT Fagbenley. OT
What?
OTFAG. OT is literally like the first part. OT. And then last name is Fagbenle. Fagbenley. All right.
Does
So,
Google have like a little like pronunciation microphone
girl,
thing?
I'm done. You're doing a lot, okay? I just spelled the day. They can Google it, okay? He fine as fuck, low key, high key, whatever. Girl, he looked like a zaddy in these photos. But shout out to him. He's fucking phenomenal. And yeah, they just like they're trying to formulate this new life where now they're all kind of cohabitating. Him, Moira, Nicole, her love
Oh,
child with Nick, and
Rita.
and Rita now, because they come back together. Rita's like June's old Martha, and so yeah, long story short, when that, because like they're trying to figure, bitch, we're not even getting into the tea with like Serena and fucking
Okay,
the
well
commander.
let's kind of wrap up the season
Yeah,
recap.
girl, we're gonna be here
So
all night.
I want to say I think this season gave us everything we needed and wanted and then some. Especially the last two episodes.
Yes,
They were movies. If that was
like last three, because the last,
well, I
right,
feel like the third to last episode to me,
that's when they find each other. That's when Moira finds.
no. The third to last episode was when, hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, because when did Moira find June? That shit was fucking iconic.
So the
That's
third
what
to last episode was Testimony. That was the episode where it kind of focused. So basically in Toronto, any former handmaid or Martha that has escaped, there's a like a therapy group, and it looks like they get together a couple times a week, to talk about healing and their trauma as a collective. Um, and there was a lot of dialogue in that episode, which I really liked. I like shows like I like episodes like that. Um, but I feel like what I got from it was the theme of that episode was like everyone kind of had this breakthrough moment of where June was like, why do we have to not, why can't I be angry about this?
Yeah, she's like,
And
why can't I?
why does everything have to be wrapped up in healing? And why can't I feel and justified in my anger that I feel? And for me,
No, girl, you
it
gotta
was
say it though. That it was the monologue, bitch, for me. Why can't I
yeah,
feel as angry as I want, or something like that, right?
yeah,
Why can't I be as angry as I feel? That's what it was.
right.
Why can't I be as angry as I feel? That shit.
Because I think what June is reckoning with is even though she's out of Gilead, the game has not changed. The
No,
patriarchy is still alive and well
no,
in
it's still
Canada,
happening.
and women are still expected to be nice and be sweet and be, centered. And the reality of it is we're human beings.
Right.
We have a rainbow of emotions, and we have been taught that we have to suppress the ugly emotions,
Right. All the
anger,
time.
fear, resentment, disappointment, sadness. That's something that we have to hide. And why? And it's a byproduct of the patriarchy. And I think June is seeing as well that I think what she's seeing in Canada and what she's witnessing is like everyone is kind of dead set on like being like this centrist type of, resistance to
Mhm.
Gilead. Um, Elected officials and civilians included. And she's like, they play nasty, so why aren't we playing nasty?
Right.
And
And
in this monologue that she has in the group therapy session, she kind of wakes all them up, all the women that
yeah,
are there, and they're like,
yeah.
she's
Fuck
right.
yeah, bitch.
And
Yes.
even Moira, because I think that's kind of where Moira's character is kind of look
Struggles.
back. She struggles with, she wants
Yeah.
to heal, she wants to move
Yeah.
forward. And how can
But
you
she
move forward?
can't.
how can you move forward when justice has not been served? And from what it's looking like, it's not going to be served.
Right.
So it was a slow moving episode, but I was like, okay, first of all, this was so necessary to see.
Right.
This was these conversations had to be had. And I feel like the way they led into the next two episodes, it was
I know.
It was
so good.
absolutely perfect. The episode 9, when she goes to see Nick.
The emotions. That's
never...
the first time I've seen June actually like happy, like since like she left, like genuinely like
he freaking loves her.
I know, down.
He sees her for exactly who she is.
Yeah.
And I feel like even their relationship is even a little different than her and Luke's, because Nick is a little bit more of like an intellectual, and so is June. And so they're able to kind of like talk about things in a lighthearted way, but in a smart way, where I feel like Luke kind of falls short on that. Yeah. He's a nice guy. He's great. You know, he loves her too, but you can tell he lacks just a little bit of depth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think now that
a little bit in that department, and especially shows in the way that I feel like he falls short in helping her move forward with things, even though he gives her space.
He's
like
trying, bitch.
He's trying really hard.
You don't know.
But I don't think he just has the depth to even understand.
But how can he? How? He wasn't there. Nick was there. Nick was with June this entire. He had to watch her go through this shit over and fucking over again. Right. Whereas Luke was like there, but not there. Like he didn't see it. Right. He didn't witness it. He didn't feel the heaviness that was Gilead. No. You can only do so much when you're watching from afar. I mean, I'm sorry. I feel like
that's kind of the sadness in her and Luke's relationship, because we all know like relationships, you grow and evolve. And I feel like June has kind of grown and evolved into a completely different person.
Yeah.
And so has Nick, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Grown as a person, and he's evolved. And not that Luke hasn't, but I think that's kind of the tragedy in their relationship, is like they both have grown but not together. And that's like the core value in any relationship, is growing together.
Yeah.
And I feel like June has kind of outgrown Luke, you know. And
it's tough. He just doesn't, it's something she can't like explain to him. You just got to be there, you know, like, or you have to experience what she's experienced, right? It's just so, and he's trying, bless his heart, because he loves June. He loves her so he wants, and he wants nothing but to have his wife and daughter back to how things were. And like, granted, you know, I mean, so.
And for those honestly, who guys, watch the show and are going to watch this show, when you get to this point, you're going to know exactly what we're talking about. You are going to be in stitches, because it was one of the most beautiful like love scenes I've ever seen in like
it was
a
powerful.
movie or TV. It was very powerful.
Yeah, and they did that.
It was a long time coming, and I have never cried so hard. I don't think I've ever cried over a love scene in a movie.
You're a cold-hearted bitch. That's why you don't got a soul, bitch. Like, you have no soul.
I've cried over like, you know, when people die or sad things happen, but like a love scene like that, I was just like, I was just like, dude, the tears.
Yeah. You can kind of feel like a part of like what she's going through, like the confusion of this, like the emotions, like how does she comprehend life now? You know what I mean? Like part of her life part of her heart is in Gilead with Nick. You know, part of her heart's in Canada. You know what I mean? Part of it's gone because it got fucking fucked away by these fucking commander rapists. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. So guys, we can't be here for all night, literally. If you guys want more of this shit, literally watch the whole fucking thing on my podcast. We watched the whole season finale together, me and Becky. So we give you all the emotions there. We give you the reactions there. So that's kind of like, if you want more, just go there, because it's such a good show.
Give you timestamps as well while we're watching the live. If you
I thought you meant in here. I'm like, bitch. No. Yeah. No, we do. We kind of do. Yeah, we do. Actually, we do. We call out like 10 minutes, 4 seconds or whatever. So we do tell you guys. Yeah.
Right.
So, and then you can pause it. You can catch up. Right. So you can do it. It's fun. I want to take a break because we've been talking so long. So let's take a quick break And then we'll be
Okay.
right back.
Yes.
And we are back. Okay, guys. So we have to do our weekly segment with our guests. Obviously, whenever we do
Wait,
it
we're
is
done
time.
talking about Handmaids?
Yes, bitch. We've been talking about Handmaids for an hour and 12 minutes, bitch. You see this hoe? Do you want to be here all night? Good God. I'm done.
Okay,
Yes.
you know what? What you should tell everyone. Okay, whoever wants to talk about it even more, maybe we can do another episode where we, because I really want to talk about Janine's character and Aunt
Oh,
Lydia's
bitch. We don't got time for
character
that hoe.
and Serena's
Literally.
character and
No,
like
literally, there could be a part 2, honestly, but we'll just like have to talk about it amongst ourselves. You guys, reach out to me if you guys want another one, because literally, bitch, this is a lot. We could talk, but the thing is, though, Handmaid is legit so heavy. It's there's just so much to it, you know, that we can talk all fucking night and day about it. And yes, there's a lot we didn't cover. Boots, you know what I'm saying? But we just can't do it. Well, not all in one episode. Because I want to get to
it. Okay, go on.
This bitch wants to be here for 4 hours talking. Nobody wants to hear us talking for this long, bitch. Get the fuck. Anyways, it's time for meditate, masturbate, or medicate. All right? So what are we talking about for a little bit, boo? Come on now.
Let's talk about masturbate.
Yes, masturbate. Yes, boo. Okay, so what's up, bitch? What's going on this summer with you guys, Becky is single, so she's been, that's been her like tea. She's been out here masturbating in these streets. So what's going on?
Nothing. I've been
Nothing.
Well, it's been obviously an exploration into my body. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I was like, bitch.
Well, so because of the pandemic, I definitely have turned to marijuana for
Yes.
stress. It's become part of like my nightly routine. Obviously, part of my night routine is masturbating. It's my morning routine as well. But yeah, I think that, obviously I've found a lot of relief with cannabis. And for me, I feel like when I do have my self-love sessions, it elevates the experience so much more. And I kind of knew that. I've never not smoked weed until 2020, but and I have been in situations with other partners where we've both been high, and it's definitely like a different level of orgasm when things go down. But it definitely, for myself, it just makes the experience so much more. I don't know how to describe it. One thing that I have been doing, I've mentioned it before in an episode in the past. I read that book this year called In the Flow, and in this book, in terms of your sexuality, she does talk about like the importance of regular orgasms, whether you're partnered up or whether you're single. And I've never had really an issue like making time for it, but it definitely, it's something that needs to be happening. It's good for you. And one thing that she talks about is edging and what it does for yourself for your health as a woman. Because I guess when you do edging, you're raising your cortisol levels, which is just good for it. Like, I guess when your cortisol levels are raised 1 to 2 times a week, it like helps prevent like heart disease.
Really?
It's like there's a ton of health benefits that come with
Well,
it.
edging is a huge part of tantra. Edging is like a huge part. Yeah, like they teach that with a lot, and men too. Like they do edging all the time with that too. So
Right.
that makes sense.
So I have never, obviously I was, smoking weed and then masturbating. That's part of my nightly, I smoke, do my skincare routine, go to bed,
Bitch, that's a
have
vibe.
fun.
Yes.
But, with cannabis, I feel like it's definitely really helped me kind of shut off my mind and focus on what's the task at hand. And I feel like cannabis has really helped me explore like edging more and how good that's been for me. And I've been sharing with Kim, following this. I mean, the book is a lot to take in. I'm still like, I go back and read it all the time because there's so much information, and I definitely have felt such a difference Matter of fact, not to be TMI, but I'm on my period right now, and I've been telling Kim I've been exhausted. But
Yeah.
I definitely kind of fell off the wagon in terms of like what I was eating. I wasn't really following the protocol. And guys, I'm telling you, like, when I am on top of it and I'm following this woman's suggestions, like, I just feel so much better. I feel so much more alive. And yeah, it's just been really good for me. So that's kind of like my takeaway is if you can make time at least once a week to give yourself 2 or 3 hours to like have some fun.
2 or 3 hours. This bitch gonna fucking
But that
bitch.
okay, it doesn't have to be 2 or 3. Like if you could
No,
even just
I
do
mean I live. If you got that time, set some candles, make it a whole fucking thing, bitch. I got 10 minutes. Let me get this on and popping. Like, but no,
but
that's a gift that you can give yourself, legit.
and honestly, it makes a world of difference in your health and how you feel and your outlook and your perspective on your life, especially in a pandemic. I definitely feel like it
True.
was a divine intervention that I stumbled across this author and, all of her work, and I read her book because it's really been something that's been kind of like a new thing for me. And yeah, it's been fun to kind of explore that. And cannabis has aided me in that. So
This bitch masturbating in a Panda Express, y'all. I mean,
in a pan dulce.
in a pandus, in a pandaria, y'all. I mean, shit. Like, well, that's the thing that's so nice about like cannabis is that you're able to kind of just like you said, like literally like turn off your because that's the thing we
Focus.
get all up in our heads about shit. It's just as it relaxes you
And
and
you can do like a number of things to kind of get to that point. Like you can like go and Google like erotic, different kind of readings and like, I don't know, like it's not necessarily like it's like playing with yourself for a little bit and then like reading something, thinking about someone in particular that you have the hots for.
tell us
Past
more, boo. Who is it, Ashley?
past sexual experiences. Definitely kind of take your mind to a place where you're just relaxed and think about a time where you were just totally like uninhibited
Mm.
and having fun with yourself and a partner, or even think about someone that maybe you have your eyes on too, like that can kind of help you get to that place as well.
Cool. That's like a vibe, guys. I know you guys felt that in your soul. Yeah, guys. I mean, like, legit. If you guys haven't like fucked when you were high as fuck or masturbate when you're high as fuck, you're missing the fuck out. Let's just be real. It's a
Yeah.
whole nother. It's a whole
But I
nother
also feel
level.
like with that being said, it's also a slippery slope too. Like I think that there's something to be said about being totally sober when you're hooking up with someone as well and like really being
Well, you
present.
learn more about that because, like, obviously, if
Right.
you're, like if something's like impairing you in any way, it's keeping you from really like understanding your body, right? Really kind of
Right.
like finding out, well, why is it that I can't do this, or why is it that my, you know,
Right.
whatever. So, but yeah, that's the real tea. But
Right.
cute. Shout out to you. Shout out to your vagina, and for
My clit. My
shout out to
clit
your
is lit.
clitoris. Is it clitoris or is it clitoris? That's the real question.
I don't know. Should we Google it?
Bitch, I've heard clitoris. Bitch, I've heard clitoris. Yeah, I've heard it
And
both.
speaking of that, guys, women, get to know your dick.
People,
Know your body parts. Your sexual organs all have names. You need to know the difference between your vulva, your clitoral hood, your labia majora, your inner labia, your vagina, your urethra. Like, and I'm speaking as someone who, what I do for a living, nothing. So I always tell the story of when I first started at my salon that I work at. So I mostly do Brazilian waxes. That's my expertise and where I work.
wax and
I so
snatch.
what I used to do kind of to protect myself when I was like first starting out, because I wanted everyone to be happy. And when you're first starting out, you're really nervous. You don't want to have a disappointed, customer get a service from you. So I would show them a mirror. Like I would hold them like, here, take a look. Especially it was mostly when I would leave a shape. I'd be like, here, go ahead and take a look. Let me know what you think of the shape. Like we could, if you want me to refine it a little bit more, if it's not something you wanted after all. Every single time, Kim, I would hold up the mirror. every single time. I'm not kidding you. They'd be like, I don't want to look at myself that way. I've never done that before.
Girl.
And
yeah, well,
the heartbreak I
girl.
felt, because I remember specifically, I must have been like 12 or 11. I was in the bathroom one time and I was just curious and I held up a mirror and I was so mesmerized by what I saw. I couldn't stop staring at myself. It was the craziest. And
Yeah.
and like it definitely made me appreciate like my body and like who I was as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it breaks my heart that there are women that have never done that before.
Girl, it's
And
society, girl.
and going back to like what the Handmaid's Tale is all about, that
right.
there is, if you don't know your body parts and you don't know your sexual organs and their appropriate names, how can you ever expect to get an have a partner help you get to reach an orgasm that satisfies you, where you can have a healthy sexual life? You need to be able to call these things out. And even outside of that, in terms of your own health, your health
very
as a
true.
woman, your reproductive health, you need to call out your body parts to your doctor and like, this is what's wrong, this is what's itchy, this I have this here, Yeah. It's so important that we know these things. And I know it seems silly and I know it seems like intense, but it's why not? Women's clitorises, they weren't even included in like medical journals like about anatomy until like, I don't know, like I think it was like 1998 or something crazy like that. The clitoris was not studied, and the clitoris the only purpose of our clitoris is for pleasure. It serves no other function than pleasure.
Shout out to the clit, y'all. Shout out to the clit.
What a beautiful thing that as women we've been blessed with that. We've been blessed with that gift from nature. And I mean, we got to know our bodies.
But bitch, this is a lot of mental. It's a lot of mental too. You know what I'm saying? Because like society has put such a stigma on sexuality in general, right? Like it's just something that as a collective, as people, we need to just move forward and celebrate, right, our sexuality, right? That's why I have this segment. That's why I talk about masturbation. That's why I invite my guests on and I give them the option, because if they do want to talk about masturbating, I say, let's fucking do it, right? Right? Yeah. Thanks, Becky, for talking about your clit.
Shout out to you. Shout out to your clit.
Shout out to you, right? You guys, we've talked a long time. I love you guys down, but of course we have to end the show at some point. But I do want to wrap it up with a quote of the day. It's all around, surrounded about our topic.
What about sexy sustainability?
Bitch, I do that. She don't listen to the show, guys. She don't watch the show. She don't listen to the show. Because if you did watch it, bitch, you would have known I already did it in this episode. So get out of here.
True.
You're done. I'm done with her. I'm done. Anyways, quote of the day. I know. I did. I switched it up. So, God. Anyways, you see this bitch ruining the show. No, I'm just playing. You guys, quote of the day is, I am not free, while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from her own. And that is by Audrey.
Yes.
Shout out to you, girl. Very good quote. Becky, I love you, Boots. You're such an amazing person, even though you troll the fuck out of me for my barbecue sauce. So fuck you. For the
guys, I'm setting up a GoFundMe for Kim.
Oh God. Shut up.
Get her a lifetime supply of Sweet Baby Ray's.
I fucking hate you. Becky, tell everybody where they can find you. Jesus Christ. Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at BexterLexter.
There we go, guys. Follow this bitch. She's hilarious.
Don't DM me though. I'm just kidding.
Send them dicks. Actually, send them the dicks. Or clits.
You can't DM me anymore on Instagram.
Oh, you took it off? Oh, bitch.
Down, bitch.
She said, I'm sick of the fucking bullshit.
I'm at peace and I'm...
Her and her clit are at peace, guys. Her and her clit. Look at my click. Look at my click, nigga. Yeah, click. You know when bitches would be calling it click? Like, it's not a click. It's called a clit or clitoris. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me as always every week for the trifle. I always appreciate it. This week, guys, take a mirror and shine it down at your nana, your yoni, your punani, whatever you want to call it. Give it a good
Know
look-see.
her.
Spread it out, lift them folds, you know what I'm saying? For my, shout out to them folds, you know what I'm saying? Get a really good look, see at what you got down there. And for you guys too, the men, take a look at your
The
penis.
men, do yourself a favor, get an anatomy book and learn our fucking pussies.
Well, do that too.
Learn how to call out.
Dead ass. But I want men to also take a mirror down in them shits, because if you got some dingleberries, niggas, like, get rid of that shit. Clean it. Get them hairs out of there, all right? Clean it up. Tidy it up.
Oil it up.
We don't want to deal with that mess, okay? Just letting you know.
See the ash on that shaft.
Woo, okay. We see that ash. Get it together. All right, guys. Follow me on Instagram. Always tweet me, even though I'm never on there. Always email me at kimbologypodcast@gmail.com. Follow me on Facebook, Kimbology Podcast. I'm everywhere, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this week. And if you guys are watching in the visuals, shout out to y'all on YouTube. So we'll come back next week for some more bullshit. Thank you, Becky, for joining us.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Say goodbye to the good people.
Bye.
Bye. See you guys next week. Bye. Kimbo out.
Brought to you by the Rick Dog Network. Well, shoot the damn dog.